What's up? What's up? What's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead, and this is another Live and Level Gamers podcast. This is episode 148. I have my crew, not in entirety yet, but we have two people up here already, and the other two will be showing up here shortly. But I'm gonna let these dudes introduce themselves, especially my boy that's been on a long hiatus, Mr. Jedi Knight. Go ahead, bro.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Glad to be back, man. It's been a couple of months. A lot of things going on, good things, but definitely is definitely to be glad to be back with the crew. It's good to hear from everybody.
Cool. And we also got the one and only D2K. What's up, bro?
What's going on? I'm glad to be able to be on another podcast and finally get up with Jedi. It's been a long time. It's been almost half a year since we've been on the podcast together.
Close to it.
But I'll just take a line from a certain comic book person and say, "This brings a smile to my face."
So yeah, man, let me know who all in the live chat. We started up a little late because we was having some microphone issues on all our parts. That's crazy. Mine was acting up before you jumped on, Jedi. And then when you got on, yours was acting up. And then once you got on, D2K started acting up after all that. So it took us a little bit to get on. And then, of course, we're going to do a little catching up. But we're here to have this conversation about these games. A lot of it took place over at Nintendo. So, of course, we're here to see what's going on with that and give our thoughts on that. Some of us have gotten a chance to see the Avenegers Infinity Wars. We shall not be discussing any particulars because this is one of the movies you have to go see and get an assessment for yourself. And I don't want none of us spoiling not even minute aspect of it. I don't think we should say anything beyond just giving up what we thought about it, as far as our feelings was good or bad or whatever.
I would say that see a lot of people doing quote unquote spoiler free reviews. That's an oxymoron. This movie is such a departure from what we were led to believe that talking about it in any way, shape, or form is a spoiler.
This is true.
Can I ask a question quickly, guys?
Yeah.
As we were speaking about this offline before we went live, you guys obviously know I have not seen this movie. I've been kind of out of the loop with the movie scene and the gaming scene for the past couple of months. Is this movie like the ish? Is it really that good?
We can't tell you.
We can't answer that question. All I can tell you is that this movie has broken every single record that it can break in a weekend's time.
Okay, but like, now I don't want any details, but I'm just talking about like your personal opinion. Like, in terms of other comic book movies that have like been trendsetters, like when Batman came out with Heath Ledger as the Joker, I thought that was by far the best comic book related movie I had ever seen. Is it like on that level of awesome?
I'm gonna answer this way. Let me answer it first, D2K. Jedi, to answer that question would be a spoiler. I'll say this.
Okay.
You can't this is one movie. The only thing I can say, you can't compare it to no other comic book cinematic universe movie out there. You can't compare it to anything. It's not that it's good or bad. It's one of those movies.
It went left.
It's one of those movies you just got to sit there and watch and try to and come to your own realization about it. It's just that type of movie. It's like it's not to be told, it's to be experienced. If I say it's good, that means nothing. Believe me, if me and D2K said, man, this movie is awesome, that means nothing.
Yeah,
you literally got to experience it.
You don't want to set any pedestals. It's just one of those where you have to experience it for yourself.
Put it like this: when we walked out, no one was talking.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Same exact thing. Everybody just walked out with. It's almost like nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew. There was no reaction at all. It's like, wow.
All right.
And that was it. You couldn't. I can't say anything else. I can't.
When did the movie come out? This weekend?
Thursday. This past Thursday.
Okay.
And and like I said, I'm talking about. Look, I'm talking about 6, 7-year-old kids with adults. Everyone, you can hear a pin drop, and they just sitting there like, just like that. And that's how we walked out. I got in my car. I came home. I didn't even talk to my wife. I just sat down like, whoa, you know, that's it. That's all I can tell you. It's to be seen, not told. You can't tell it. It's nothing I can tell you that would express that experience, man. It won't. I want to talk about it, but you got to see it. It ain't even fair to you to talk about it if you ain't seen it.
Not at all. Would not be fair at all.
So,
all right, then what I'll do is I'll make sure I'll stay away from any of the videos online, and I'm going to see if I can get this movie and check it out this week, hopefully Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see. It's actually good that you guys are not hyping it up. I remember the last time I went to the theaters, I went to go see Black Panther. And though the movie was good, I just felt like the hype for that movie was so up and beyond that it really could not maintain that level of hype that was surrounding that movie.
And that's a problem.
And the movie was great, and it could not sustain that hype. That movie was hyped to death.
Right. I mean, that's true. Whenever you hype anything, whether it's a movie or TV show, game, or sports in a game in a sport, like, oh, this series is gonna be great, or this game is gonna be great. You know, when you hype something up to a certain level, it'll never live up to those expectations. You know, I mean, just as a perfect example, you know, they just a couple of weeks ago they had WrestleMania, and one of the matches that people were looking forward to was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and on paper, people thought that was going to be the greatest match they ever saw, but the match was just okay. But it wasn't a bad match. It's just that people hyped it up to be so huge and were expecting so much out of it that it could never be as good as people thought it was going to be.
True.
yeah.
And it's usually those matches or those shows or movies where the expectation could be high, but usually when it's a great, you know, experience, it's usually those that are really unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's what I had when it came to that. I think it was the Dark Knight movie, when the producers and the directors gave like some of the artwork before the movie was actually out in theaters, and people were really skeptical of Heath Ledger as the Joker. People were really criticizing it, and then to watch the movie drop and see what we got, it was like, holy crap! I have never seen anything like this before. Because I guess for me, it made and I don't want to really go left talking about a movie that's like a decade old, but it kind of just it made the villain aspect pretty relevant. Usually with these superhero movies, they hype the superhero and they're kind of like invincible. It seemed like with the Joker, it was like, wow, he can actually pull this off. And that is what made the movie so great, because you actually thought there for a second, this dude could actually do it. So I'm really excited to see what the Avengers got in store.
We got to move on. We got to move on. Yeah,
on that note, we got to move on.
Yeah, you coming in, you got me itching like, can't do it.
All right, I'm touching buttons here. I believe it alone. We're going to move forward.
Just to tell you, just like Cornelia was saying in the comment section, I literally, when I walked in the house, I made it my point to avoid my wife so she didn't say, how was it? So I did. I did everything to get my mind off of, because I didn't want to ruin it. I was like, I can't. I just gonna let me turn this game on, get distracted into something so she don't come bother me about asking me how it was. We all going to see it this Tuesday, so man, I am so interested to see how they gonna take this movie. I really am. But with that being said, let's move on, man. So it's been a minute, Jedi. What you been gaming on, man?
Man, that's a good question. I'm kind of backlogged a little bit. The last games that I played was Metropolis, Lux Obscura for the Switch, and another platformer, Guns, Gore and Cannoli, I ended that maybe about a month ago, but I would say for the past 3-4 weeks, man, I haven't really been on top of anything. The last game that I played was Metropolis, and that game is probably about 2 hours long. I was really disappointed in the time length because I really enjoyed the game. Have any of you guys played that?
Metropolis.
Metropolis Lux Obscura. It's like a indie title on the Switch.
I've
But
seen
it's a dope
highlights.
concept.
I've seen highlights, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, the game is dope, but I think I ended it in like 2 hours. I'm like, what happened? It was so like unexpected. And but yeah, that's really it, man. I'd have dabbed a little bit into some Battlefield games, Battlefield 4 and another Battlefield that took place in Miami. I forget the title of that one. I just downloaded them on the PS4 because, of course, as you guys know, being a Nintendo fan, there's so many games that we haven't gotten, and I've just been trying to pick up some games on budget that the PS4 had and enjoying those. But really, outside of those, nothing much.
Okay, that's what's up. So Metropolis, I've seen previews of it, but I haven't actually played it. But yeah, that's what's up. So Metropolis and a few other any titles on. You said Metropolis and then Battlefields on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And also, just to let you know, the Metropolis game is a mature game, so you don't want to like download that and play that in front of the children. It's
ain't it like black and white?
It's like black and white, but it's very mature themed. Like a lot of people were surprised that Nintendo actually had it on their console. There's like nudity, everything. The content is definitely not for children.
Yeah, like I said, I saw, and I actually watched a review on it. I saw it in the eShop. You know, you can look at a few screenshots, and I can tell by some of the screenshots that it wasn't teen or E for everybody. It said mature. You can go for some of the screenshots. You see them in a strip club, but the girls still had their bottoms on, but they didn't show the top.
Oh yeah, that's not the situation once you get the game. Like that is not a game that you take at the airport and you play it, you know, while you're traveling and you got people next to you.
They be thinking you on some purge stuff, right?
Exactly, and it was kind of unexpected too, because I'm playing it and it's like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. Good thing I'm in a house full of people.
So okay, well that's what's up. But so it's only 2 hours long now. That was like a $14.99 game, right?
I'm not sure. I think it was under $10. I think it was $8, maybe. I'm not sure. Actually, I got my Switch next to me. Let me go check out the price now. Oh, and the other game was Guns, Gore, and Cannoli, Part 1. I hear that they're gonna have Part 2 of that coming out. It's a platformer, and it was actually pretty fun. I ended it. That game was maybe about, I would say, 10 hours, but that was actually a really fun game to play.
Okay, all right. Jedi Knight. I mean, not Jedi, but D2K. What you been gaming on, bro?
I hear an echo of myself in the background for some reason.
Oh, that may be on my side. Let me mute.
When I went to go see the movie on Thursday, I went over to my friend's house first because we were all going together, and I was playing Killing Floor 2 on the Xbox One, and you know that's probably, as far as zombie shooter type games, that's probably to me it's the best game that's out there right now. I mean, it's fast, the graphics are really good, the concept is good. You know, it's just one of those. It's kind of like a throwback type game, and to me it feels like if Resident Evil was just a straight up, you know, third person shooter or first person shooter, this is what this game would look like. Other than that, just the normal stuff that I always play. Nothing special. Slime Rancher, Halo, okay. You know, stuff like that. You know.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. Far as me, I've been on that God of War 4. That's all I've been playing. I've turned my Switch on to check the eShop. My daughter been wanting to play. What is that game that? Not Ninjago. Ninjago on the Lego, one of those Lego games.
Yeah.
I bought her Ninjago. She want to play that. I haven't turned it on for her yet, but I haven't played my Switch since I bought God of War 4. Don't count it to the heart. I've been on it. Once I get on games like God of War 4, like Zelda, stuff like that, I just stick with it pretty much the whole way through until I'm finished, and then I start jumping around. I kind of don't want to disengage from the experience. That's what I stay in. So that's all I've been playing, man, is God of War 4. Is really blowing me away. I'm really impressed about the game all the way around.
Have you beaten it yet? And
no. I thought I was, without spoiling it, I thought I was at the end. And as soon as I got to where I was trying to get to where I thought I had to go, I think I'm at the midway point where you do something and you thinking you're about to end, and it's all of a sudden the whole game changed. And that's kind of what happened. Like a game changer hit. I was in the spot that I thought I was in. I wasn't actually even in. And now I have to go and find the actual place that I thought I was currently at. And so a whole nother journey opened up. But I kind of paused right there. So that's what I've been gaming on. I'm loving the storyline. It's great. I'm loving the interaction between Kratos and his boy. I'm loving the action, the graphics, all of it. I mean, it's just a top-notch game, man. I mean, just really good game. So that's all I've been gaming on here as of late, and been on watching this NBA. My boys just made it. Cornelius is over here laughing at me, but my boys just made it. They beat the Pacers. Thank the Lord. I got home from church, didn't even know the game was on. I thought it was coming on later. And my phone gave me an alert going into the fourth quarter. Cavs up by 2. My heart stopped. I was like, oh, no. So I ran in the house, and then by the time I got in the house, they was up by 6, and pretty much helped that lead throughout the rest of the fourth quarter. So anyway, that's been about it for me. So hopefully when when K-Bum and Keith jump on, they can give you what they've been gaming on. But for me, that's all I've been gaming on is that God of War 4.
Yeah, I hear that God of War 4. The graphics on that game is phenomenal.
Dude, on the base level PlayStation 4, this game really is shocking me how detailed and how much they're squeezing out of this system. It literally makes you question why they need a PlayStation 5. That's really made me say, I'm like, man, if they can get this game to look this good on the base model, because I was thinking I was going to need to go get a Pro to really experience the game. I got a 4K TV, and it does upscale and does a little thing to the image or to the picture that's being shown. I can change different settings and get even a better picture. But I was thoroughly impressed by what this 4 was doing, the base model. I don't even know what the Pro would actually make it look like, but what I got is satisfactory. I can't complain. From a graphical standpoint, there is no complaints at all with this game. I mean, to this point, this is probably one of my top 3 best looking games on the PlayStation 4, if not the best looking one. And it got color. You would literally think they took a play out of Nintendo's book with the way that they use colors in this game. Like how vibrant the game is when it comes to colors and like greenery and plant life. And if a wall is red, it is deep red. It's not faded. It's popping off your screen. Kratos gear. I mean, the way everything looked is textured, is bumpy. You can literally, like, you can touch it and feel the ripples and the bumps and the grooves in his armor and different clothing. The fur on his son. I can't think of the boy's name right now, but it's just a plush looking game, man. From Kratos all the way to the different antagonists that you fight. Graphically, it's stunning. And then the gameplay is like God of War, but there's on some other stuff. It's dope, man. It's dope. It's hard as crap. it's hard in the mug. I mean, in some parts that I died at least one stage. I died. I want to say at least 20 times. Just kept coming back at them and having to figure it out and how to beat them and the best way to approach these. What they throwing at you. So I can't complain, man. From gameplay, graphics, story, it's hitting all cylinders and it's running with it. It ain't perfect, but it's definitely a good game.
It's one of the best games of 2018, obviously.
Yeah, yes, hands down, one of the best so far. What I played this year is definitely the best thing I played this year.
All right, that's good.
So it's definitely worth the price that it's asking for. And K-Bum over there, he was geeking out. You should have heard him, man. He
I know K-Bum.
So he was geeking, but I ain't gonna front. I mean, I gotta tilt my hat to Sony. They put their foot.
They knocked it out of the park.
They knocked it out of the park with this one, and that's why I had such a issue with the salt that I thought a few guys were throwing. It just wasn't justified. That's like nah, bro. You could do that with Sea of Thieves and some of these other games. You got to give your hat. You got to tilt your hat and give praise where praise is due. And
people was throwing salt on God of War.
Oh yeah, we won't get into that. We leave that alone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess whatever happened, I wasn't around for it. All right.
Yeah. It was a whole big to do about it, and we dealt with that kind of last week. But I wish you was here for that one. You could have got in on that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's about the games to me, bro. Like, I have my preference, but like you guys know, a couple of years ago, it was between you, Leveled, and this other guy that used to be part of the podcast at the time. You guys convinced me to get the PlayStation 4, and I've been happy with it. I got the PS4 Slim. I don't even need the upgrade, and the games look phenomenal, but. Yeah. It's like you get games that you play that you can't get on, a Nintendo console or the Switch. And, at the end of the day, it's like, well, I get to play games that I wouldn't normally be, exposed to if I didn't have the console. So people shouldn't be hating on that. They should be buying the other consoles.
No, right. That's the whole thing, is that we as gamers, we should be, regardless of what your preference is or your console of choice, when any company makes a masterpiece like this, we all should stand up and applaud in unison together as a gaming community, because that makes a company like Sony Santa Monica stand back and say, hey, our hard work is appreciated, because you have to understand it took a lot of money, a lot of manpower, a lot of assets, a lot of development time, a lot of hours and hard work and just, I know what it's like to develop. Not physically, but I know what developers go through developing games, and I can only imagine the hell that these people had to go through in order to make this game as good as it was. When you come out together and you say that we appreciate what you did, it makes them feel good, and it makes them say, you know what, as much as hellacious as it was to make this game, we'll do it again. We'll do it again because people appreciate it. They went out and they bought it. They were excited about it. So yeah, we'll go all out for our major AAA titles. So that's the reason why, throwing shade it's a self-defeating process. Everybody should be on board. So regardless of what happens, let's just say that Retro Studios comes out with something that's, equally as impressive as God of War 4. Whether you're a Sony fan or Microsoft fan, you need to praise that. If Microsoft with the coalition, this rumor of the coalition might be working on Perfect Dark for the Xbox One. If that is on par with like God of War, we should all be applauding that as well, because that means that we'll get more stuff like that from these companies when we all get together and give these companies credit for what they do.
I didn't want to interrupt you there, but you are absolutely right. And I just recently this week heard about Perfect Dark. And if Perfect Dark comes for the Xbox, I am getting that Xbox One X just to play that game. I will do that. And now I remember exactly what happened and how I got my PlayStation 4. I was speaking with Leveled and K-Bomb in particular was telling me about the Uncharted series. I never played Uncharted. I got the PlayStation 4 and I bought the Uncharted collection. And though I never got to the third installment of Uncharted. I ended Uncharted 1. I got through most of Uncharted 2 and I was highly, highly impressed. So I gotta agree with you 100%. When you have games that are like masterpieces like that, it shouldn't matter what your particular preference on a game by game basis is. When you have a masterpiece that comes out, it should be, respected. I remember when a game like Bayonetta 2 came out for, the Wii U, and folks were like really upset that it was for the Wii U. I'm like, well, why don't you just support it?
Right.
You're saying you love the game. Like, what is the problem? And I think sometimes we get into, but I also think that's just what the industry pushes in general. And as consumers, we kind of get caught up in that nonsense, like the console wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's garbage, man.
That's what's been holding us back is the console war crap.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like you can have your preference. Nobody's saying that you can't, and it's actually good that you do. But to spin it to where it's a war and that type of disposition, I mean, later for that, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was like coming from when we was dealing with the whole situation. I'm like, I got a preference. Of course, everybody know my preference is Nintendo. Like Nintendo first party, the tried and true, the trilogy, the Triforce. That is.
I think Level got cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. It just went out and came back in.
The industry alphabet boys did not like what we were talking about, bro.
Right.
Some of those console war people pulled the plug on you. Like, stop that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
stop exposing that truth, bro.
I have my preference. I have that, and I'm brand loyal. Nintendo has proven itself to me as a brand. I support them as a brand. But like D2K said, and like you echoed, Jedi Knight, there is no reason. There is no justification when a game as stellar as a God of War 4, a game as stellar as a Breath of the Wild, a game as stellar as a whatever Microsoft might have that might be stellar. I can't name one right now. I'm trying to throw no shade. There's no shade. There's no shade. I'm just saying there's nothing I can really name. I was trying to think of what can I name on my. There's nothing I can really name right now. But back in the day, the Halos back in the day, like Jedi Knight said, and D2K, you said it before him. That is a moment, in my opinion, that all of us as gamers are supposed to stand up and give the clap and give applause. Like, y'all did y'all thing. I can nitpick God of War. I can find a whole bunch of stuff that I would like to be different, but I could do the same thing about Breath of the Wild. I could do the same thing about Mario Odyssey. I could do the same thing. Me and Keith did it on Mario Odyssey. We was like, we need to pump the brakes on trying to make this be the end all with Mario games. It's good, but it's not the best Mario experience we ever had. I still think other experiences were better, and that's my daughter up there acting a nut if y'all hear her screaming. But anyway, y'all hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama probably told her she can't have some. She's mellow. Hold up, just a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll take it from here. D2K, you want to pick that up?
Yeah, it's just like I was looking at this post that I think Keith posted it in the chat that was from, I think it was Nintendo Life website, and they were talking about how the developers from God of War, the basically the title said that Metroid influenced God of War 4 or something like that. And when I actually looked at the actual video and I actually heard the actual creative director for God of War talk about, you know, what this whole thing was about, he was basically saying that as a developer, the quote unquote Metrovania gaming concept is what is pretty much at the core of how he looks at developing games in general. That formula of how Castlevania and Metroid, original Metroid, it basically formed. That's how he looks at games, period, is from that perspective. But the way that the headline was written made it seem like that they were saying they deliberately took elements of Metroid and put it in God of War singularly. And I just, and I'm like, stop.
So it was a clickbait title.
It was a clickbait title.
I saw Keith had sent it. I didn't get a chance to actually read the article. So my 2-year-old, one of my twins, bit my daughter, my older daughter.
Okay.
Her screaming was justified. Go ahead though. So finish what you were saying on it, because I didn't read the article, so bring me up to speed on it.
Yeah, because like it was basically a very, you know, infinitesimal influence of Metroid in God of War 4. It wasn't like they didn't even say, okay, this is what happened in Metroid and this is what happened in God of War. That's exactly like that. They didn't even do that. You know, it was just like really grasping at straws to basically say, in my opinion, that somebody outside of Nintendo cannot come up with a completely original concept or something that's phenomenal without it somehow being attached to Nintendo. That's how it came across to me. And I thought it was like, just cut this crap out. Just stop it. There's nothing, you know, Bible says that there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that you see and do has been done before. Everything. There's nothing original. Everybody copies everybody. Everything copies something. There are a whole host of 1970s sci-fi movies that Metroid took ideas from. Who cares? The game is cool. You know, we enjoy the game. You know, it doesn't make any difference where the ideas come from. Superman's not an original idea. Superman is based off of Jesus and Moses. You know, but we love Superman, don't we? Just stop doing stuff like that. Give people their props, leave it alone, and walk away. And just demand that your company that you like gives you experiences like this as well.
That's really a good point that you hit on. It's like you don't have to hate on, you know, the other aspects if what you are supporting provides you with similar experiences, right? I think it really goes back to that console war, PC master race type of thinking again. I haven't played it. I've seen some highlights of it, but everything that I've heard in regards to God of War is that this is definitely a Game of the Year candidate. And based on hearing this particular conversation between the two of you guys, it seems like that type of rhetoric is justified. And I mean, that should be a good thing. But you know what? Sometimes with gamers in general, we are like the miserable group that no matter how we progress in this genre, it's like never enough. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the reasons why I think I actually stuck with Nintendo, because there was a stint where everything was about graphics, bro. Everything was about graphics. And I always felt like Nintendo wasn't trying to push that narrative. I'm not saying that that's not part of gaming, but when you make that the exclusive aspect of gaming, then all you're doing is limiting yourself. And in many ways, I limited myself from experiencing those type of games because the industry just tended to gravitate towards the more powerful systems. But I think that it's not a blemish on Nintendo's part when it forced them to succeed in areas and fail in others. You know, like the Wii U was terrible, but you wouldn't have never had a Wii U if they would have played it safe. It the Switch is an enormous success, but again, we wouldn't have seen that type of console handheld hybrid if it wasn't for them, you know, deciding not to play it safe. You know, so it really depends. I think that we need to just kind of take a step back and then realize the awesomeness that is happening in general. And when you have masterpieces like that, just appreciate it as a gamer. That's all.
I would say this, man. You said something that sparked a thought in my mind when you said, you know, during that generation, you kind of stepped out and was only really focusing on Nintendo when everything went ultra graphics driven. And I'm gonna echo that. I was kind of the same boat. Like, you know, I want this, I want that. I don't just need my game to look pretty. But there's a lot of games, a lot of great experiences I missed because of that, because I was unwilling to get past the notion that some kind of way the system that I had a preference for was you know, X'd out of the conversation because, you know, it didn't have the graphical fidelity to keep up with the big boys. And there was a lot of games on the Xbox that I missed, a lot of games on the PlayStation 3 and that I missed because I was unwilling to support the idea of graphics first. And it's like now I'm like being more well-rounded and more secure in my as a gamer and more mature. I'm like you, Jedi Knight. I'm trying to play it all. I'm like Pokemon. I'm trying, instead of catch them all, I'm trying to play them all. If I want to play it, I need to have this device to play it. I don't care what the industry or whatever journalists or, you know, overhyped fan person might say. I want to play God of War. I want to play Gears of War. I want to play Breath of the Wild. And in order to do that, I gotta have all these systems. And right now, I'm playing God of War 4. It's not a lot that I want to play on the Switch right now. Do I feel like I'm missing out on gaming? No. Do I hate my Switch? No. Just right now, there's no game that really is saying, "Hey, you need to come and pick me up." There will be. I'm not saying, you know, I know down the road there's going to be games that's going to require me to really focus back on my Switch again. But right now, I'm still gaming. I'm still enjoying myself with God of War. And then in month or two from here, it'd be something on the Switch again, or maybe the Xbox. I don't know, whatever Microsoft come with. I just like having that luxury of choice and not let my preferences dictate my choices. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that does. And to actually add to that, two things. Number one, it's okay to be able to dip and dab into other games based on other gaming consoles. I think what occurred during that, at least from my perspective, with the real push for graphics, it's that you started to end up having games that were like graphically beautiful, but were garbage games, right? Like, for example, talking about how awesome God of War 4 is, right? Or a few minutes ago, I was talking about how, you know, speaking to you and K-Bomb about the Naughty Dog series and Uncharted. Those games are graphically wonderful for the times that they were created, right? But Naughty Dog didn't give you a shell. They didn't give you graphics. They didn't tease you. What they gave you was an experience to go with those graphics. And that, I think, with a lot of Nintendo fans, they've decided that they stuck with Nintendo because, yeah, Nintendo may not be pushing the graphics aspect, but they've always tried their best to give you an experience. And with that, what has occurred is because we were trying to be so steadfast and we rejected that type of milking us for money, that when it came to the creators of the God of Wars, the Naughty Dog developers, we've missed a lot of those games because of a lot of games like The Order 1886, for example. That was one of the most beautiful games. I have never seen a game more beautiful than that game. To this day, I have not seen a game prettier than that game.
God of War,
but it may challenge it, you know. But point being is, in comparison to prettiness and gameplay, it's not a comparison, right? And the second thing is, when it comes to differences and being different and not wanting to play it safe, I'm starting to think that what Microsoft is doing is a good thing. On numerous occasions, I thought about buying an Xbox One X, because you can get that like that Netflix type of deal where you can get like 100+ games available for a set price a month, because there's so many backlogged games that are old games that I may not have personally played. We're in a really unique situation with gaming. Some people may not like it because they feel like they like to own the disc, then buy the game physically and own it. But for people like myself who may not mind that too much, this is just another avenue that, you know, Microsoft could be taking a risk on, but hit it out the park too. There's a lot of things going on that could be a good look.
Right. You know, to add to that, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The reason why the Xbox One, for me, gives me the most value is because of the online aspect of it. Because I can get, the reason why I was able to beat Gears of War 4 is because of Game Pass. You know, simple as that. Because I was able to download the game, play it, and beat it, and then move on to something else. And I don't need to own a disc nor to have that experience, because I did what I came to do. And the fact that I had a lot of the games that I play on the Xbox One are Xbox 360 games. You know, and then you add the aspect of the Xbox One X and the fact that they upscale, or they graphically improve some Xbox games. It's almost like playing the games all over again, brand new. Yeah. I mean, Gears of War 3 looks despicable on the Xbox One X. You know, I mean, even my friend was telling me that he was playing Ninja Gaiden Black for the original Xbox, and he says it looks amazing on the Xbox One X. And it seems like maybe that's the direction that Microsoft is going.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I think it was Digital Foundry that made a video showing Red Dead Redemption in 4K. And I'm like, dude, this game, this looks current gen. It doesn't look like bleeding edge God of War. But if you would have just said, this is a new Red Dead Redemption game, on the surface, I would have believed it. Mm-hmm. It looks phenomenal, the upgrade.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to see it in the side by side footage of the game running on the Xbox One X as against the original version, but that's what I've been hearing, been echoed across many different channels and podcasts talking about it, that it is a noticeable difference when you run it through the Xbox One X and get those enhancements versus just the older game. So.
And it's cool because you get the 4K assets, you get the 60 frames per second, and you get the Game Pass, and it's hundreds of games. You don't have to necessarily buy those games over and over and over again, right, if you had them on prior, systems, right? Like what we currently have with the Virtual Console, or when we finally get the Virtual Console, a lot of times people have purchased so many different Nintendo consoles that they end up buying the same game multiple times to kind of keep up with the fact that, they've just changed consoles from previous gen to, current gen, and then may have to do it again for the next gen. For Microsoft to have something like a Game Pass and it's subscription based, it's just like, okay, it's right there. I can play it anytime I want, but you get the added benefit of it not just being HD, but they're actually adding assets to the game. They're tweaking it to where it's just not running it like an emulator, but it's virtually the same. They're adding to an old game. It gives it a breath of fresh air in many ways. I think what Microsoft is doing is cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think the Xbox One X is a test run for whatever they got coming next, because I do think the backwards compatibility is cool, but that entry tag $500 to get access to it. I don't know yet, but I got the Xbox One. The Xbox One, I can still do it, but that X, man, I don't know what they're gonna do with that price tag. When that price tag comes down, I think it's gonna be a deal. You know, if it was priced like the Pro, I think it'd be a great deal. That would be a selling point, but I think that price tag might make it just a tad bit out of the range of what people would consider reasonable. But yeah, I agree with you though, Jedi Knight, that is a good idea that Microsoft is doing, and no one else is doing it because Nintendo, to me, has the ideal titles to do it, but Nintendo, like you said,
they want
it's
that
forcing
extra
you
money.
to buy their game multiple times across their multiple devices, and it do make you like,
Agreed.
come on, Nintendo, you can treat us a little bit better than that. Go ahead, K-Bob. I see you
Yo,
to say something.
yo, what's up, people?
What's
Good
up,
to see
man?
y'all. Good to be here. I'm up in Brussels right now, kicking it with the wife. Just got through with dinner. Thought I'd slide on in the podcast. Good to hear my man Jedi. What
What's
up?
going on, K-Bomb? What's the word, brother?
What's up, man? Good to see you. And D2K back with the vengeance. I see you, bro.
What's going on, man? You see Van Damme walking around out there anywhere?
I ain't seen Van Dam, the muscles from Brussels. I ain't seen him yet. No, man, but it's good. It's good. I'm good. I did want to add something to the backwards compatibility because I do think that's where Xbox is killing it because they got to fit somewhere. They have to make it work, make their system valuable somewhere. And as of right now, they're choosing that backwards compatibility. And I think out of all the backwards compatibility we've had, I think they are doing it the best. Because what was actually done is like if you play the game on your Xbox, it was automatically ready for you to download onto your Xbox One. And some of the save files were also automatically there. Because I know for my what game I didn't finish, the Mass Effect 3, all that stuff was there, ready for me to start back up. And I'm like, that's if anybody, they're doing it the best. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to admit that. Sony is trying to do the backwards compatibility, and they're not doing it full on like Xbox because they're trying to do it with the software. They remember they bought that software company. Trying to get the name of the company.
Was it Gaikai or something like that?
Gaikai, who was doing the streaming, and they put all their eggs in that bag when it came to backwards compatibility because they wanted to do it with the streaming. And I don't think that's really taken flight the way that they really expected it to. And so they're for right now for the PS4. Their eggs is in that basket. They may switch when they go to a new console because I just don't think you're going to be able to do the PS4 level graphics streaming consistently. My add to that. So I think they're going to find another solution, but they had their eggs in that basket, and I just don't think it panned out the way they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to add to that, with the Game Pass, I've heard what you said in regards to that level, in respects to getting the X, having that $500 price tag. And what I'm thinking is, what is D2K? What is the price for a Game Pass per month?
I believe it's $9.99. Right now, there's a deal where you can get it for $1 for a month. So if you want to just check, you'll just check it out. Now is the time to do it because you can do it for $1, but it's normally $9.99 a month.
Say if I purchased an Xbox One S, right? And that's probably like $300. And I would buy 2 games, and that's like $60, right? I'm in that $500 range. If I get an Xbox One X and spend another $10 for that, by the time I get that console home and plug it up, I have the latest, greatest piece of hardware, and I have 100 games at my disposal, which a lot of them have been tweaked with 4K assets. You know, I like where Microsoft is going. One of the questions that I do have is this, and it's something similar to Netflix. I don't really know how they're able to distribute the funds that they get from their subscription service to pay for the publishers or the developers of these games that they have within their service. For example, I've been really thinking about getting this Xbox One X in June when State of Decay, I think State of Decay comes out, and I wanted to get Wolfenstein on the Switch. So I'm holding out, not playing Wolfenstein. But maybe one of you guys have an idea on how that distribution of funds is going. They're releasing brand new games day one that are like Xbox exclusive on the Game Pass. As a gamer, that's great, because it's like either you pay $60 to have the game. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you know, you may want to take it back to GameStop or wherever you purchased it from. But with the game service, it's like, well, if I didn't like it, it was still $10. I got to try it. I didn't like it, but hey, look, I got 99 other games. Like, how is that working with their subscription service in regards to payout?
Now, I'm not. I think this ain't this separate from. You don't have to have Xbox Live to do this, do you?
I believe you do. Because I don't believe
in the comment section, folks.
I don't believe I can
Xbox Live to do this. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't believe I can get Game Pass. I think I have to get Xbox Live first for me to get Game Pass.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Because I've always had both at the same time, so I don't know if that's true.
I don't know either, but I will say this: Jedi do paint a good picture. I forgot about the exclusives and first-party titles being also on that service. I know third-party isn't, but first-party, that meant if you bought the service, you got to play Sea of Thieves.
You do not. You do not need gold for Game Pass.
Okay, so you can buy this service. Yeah. And you can get access to Sea of Thieves and all the first-party titles that have come out on the Xbox, plus any first-party or exclusive titles that's coming to the Xbox in the future. Day one, just buy this $10 a month. Actually, that if it works right, if it works like they say.
Well, the way it works is that you don't need. You know how you can't play certain games if you bought them or downloaded them through Xbox Live Gold. You can't play them unless it's active. You can. It works from that standpoint that if you get Game Pass, you can play those games that normally would be active only if you had Xbox Live Gold. But in order to play multiplayer on Xbox Game Pass games, you have to have Xbox Live Gold.
Right. Yeah. Active Sin just said that I didn't think about the online part. You got to have online for those games that require online. But if the game doesn't require online, you're telling me that you can have this service and gain access to them games and still play them via offline as much as you want to for $10 a month.
Yep.
Yeah. And really, if it's
that might be
$570 to get you the whole thing, because I think Xbox Live is what, $60 a year, and then add that $10. You know, I mean, I've done damage like that, waiting like a month or two after a console released, picked up the console, got like an extra controller, and purchased like 3 games. You know, I remember when the Wii U came out. I got the Wii U maybe about a month or two after it released, and I spent close to $600 just picking up the Wii U. You know, so when you hear the price solely for the console, $500 is a lot of money, because the sweet spot is between $300 and $400. But it's when you have a subscription service like that, that is a good look. I think that's one of the reasons why the Xbox One X is also selling the way it is too, because it's not just the hardware that's selling it. It's the fact that you can get so many games for so little money. It's a smart thing.
You guys do know who did this first, right? And everyone laughed at them and pointed their finger. Say what again?
On live?
On Xbox. The whole pay a monthly or yearly fee and play whatever games in the catalog.
Yeah, I'm answering you. I'm saying on live.
Oh, no.
You know the answer to this question.
The first people to do it on the console was EA. And EA was laughed and mocked for doing EA Access. They're like, this is a terrible idea. EA is money hungry. This is bad for consumers. This is anti-consumerism. And now people are following suit. But EA did this first, where they would take their they wouldn't allow their mainstream games to be in the catalog until about 6 months out, and then 6 months out you can play Madden for a monthly fee. You can play not 2K, sorry, live. You can play FIFA, but they did it, I believe, first on the Xbox, and Sony actually didn't allow them to do it, so it's only on the Xbox at this point.
I remember that.
Well, I also remember that they kind of retrieved some of their games to put back into their access, because I remember I had Battlefield 4 on my Xbox One through Xbox Live, and then it was gone, and I couldn't play it anymore because they put it in the EA Access.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks though. now that you put it that way, D2K, it's like, wow, you paid for the game, right?
No. See, because that's one of the things sometimes they have games that are for free that you can download that you say,
okay, I got you.
But you can only access those games if you have Xbox Live. But this was an EA game, and instead of having it on, they took it off of there and put it onto their EA Access.
Yeah, it's similar to like the PlayStation and having the PlayStation Plus and whatever games you download that are free, for as long as you have the subscription, they'll stay there. But if it's an EA game and they put it in EA Access, then suddenly you don't have access to the game.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if that's their catalog, then it is what it is.
It's free, so I didn't trip about it.
Exactly. In a situation when the game is free, it's one thing. When you're trying to, nickel and dime people with loot boxes and all types of craziness, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I don't like EA, but that's because I would like some more football games. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Well, it just brings the question to kind of steer this conversation another way. It brings the question what you're talking about with Xbox and they new subscription service with EA Access. It makes you wonder, why hasn't Nintendo, when it has the biggest backdrop of games of any of these companies, haven't created a service like this, and with all the changes going on.
Yeah, I was going to say we could just turn this right into the next part. Yep.
Go into it, like what's going on with Nintendo? Like, we just seen the main guy step down. He didn't get fired or anything. He just he said, we always knew supposedly he was just a stopgap, a temporary hold things together since when Iwata passed away. He stepped up, held things together, and done well, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, he should have stayed. No disrespect to the new guy, but Nintendo did well.
Right. Yeah. So under his hand, under his watch, Nintendo not only came back, Nintendo came back. so like, but I don't even know who this new guy is. Like, do any of you guys know? D2, do you know who the guy is? I seen pictures of him. I was like, I don't know. I'm not familiar with him at all.
I have no idea who this guy is. Only thing I know is that he's around the same age that Iwata was when he first took over at Nintendo. So it makes sense that they would go with a younger person, because I'm not trying to wish any ill will on anybody, but a guy like Kimishima, he's in his 70s, close to 80. He could bump off at any time, maybe right back in the same situation. So you want to have somebody that's younger in that position going forward. And it is kind of interesting that they're making this change in June. And I'm wondering if he will be brought out onto their direct or whatever they call it that they have and introduced then, or will it be some other ceremony or whatever? It'll be interesting to find out if he will be in place before Nintendo does their E3 stuff, so he can address the direction of the company going forward.
Well, I know, and I'm echoing this, and I've heard this before, but Cornelius kind of brought it up. Supposedly, he speaks English very well. Like, better than probably anyone else there. So that's a plus.
Because Iwata spoke English as sufficiently, and I don't think Kimishima speaks English at all. So
Miyamoto, Anuma, none of them really speaking fluently, but Iwata did. But they saying this dude speaks it even better. From what I understand, what I've heard, he speaks it even better than Iwata. So he is young. They say he's an avid gamer. And one of the things they were saying, and we were saying it for a while, but Nintendo was slowly showing that they were thinking and saying it themselves, that they needed some young blood. They needed some youth to take over, and a lot of ideas and a lot of things that they were trying to implement into games was being kind of shut down and closed off and not being taken as serious. And then all of a sudden now they see the need to go younger. I think, if I be honest, I think games like Splatoon help with that, because Splatoon was some of the younger guys' idea, if I'm not mistaken. I know Miyamoto had some say in the game, but from my understanding, there was a younger team at Nintendo who made Splatoon and started to implement a lot of youthful elements into Nintendo's game. So I think it's a smart move to go young. Hopefully, this guy has an understanding of online and all the necessity for this type of stuff, to where he can lead Nintendo down a path that builds on what they already built with the Switch. What you think? I'll let Jedi come in, then DJK, you hit up, and K-Bomb, where you can jump in wherever you want to. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think the young blood is necessary. Sometimes being older, you gain your level of experience, and sometimes you can just get stuck within that type of experience and thinking that you always have the answers, but it's really based on the box that you've constructed for yourself. Kind of being young and being fresh and rebellish in a way, you kind of think outside the box. And to go back to what you said in regards to Splatoon, it was a younger development team that made it. But what occurred, at least from what I understand, is that in the development of the game, what some of the older people at Nintendo wanted to do was to use Nintendo characters that were known, like Mario's and the Zeldas. And what the younger crew wanted to do was to not associate those caricatures with the game. They wanted to create new characters, something fresh, something different, that didn't have to stand or be supported or branded by Mario again. And it worked. Now people are getting excited for the new Switch because they're going to have Splatoon characters in it. So it could be good to have that older oversight, but that young, fresh, not experience, but ambition at the developmental level.
Right. And let me say this, man, because you speaking truth. It was a few of the older cats that wanted it to be Nintendo mascots, and I think it was Miyamoto who kind of pushed back on that, said no to let them go the way that they was going. So giving him credit where credit is due. True. But yeah, you're right. Most of the folks wanted to lean on the back of proven IP characters, and they thought this was better. So it proved that you do need some youth, man. But go ahead, D2K. I ain't mean to interrupt on your time.
Well, I mean, that was the key that made Splatoon a success, because you had new characters, and one of the things Nintendo hasn't done a whole lot of is create new IP. And now they have a brand new IP that can stand on its own, in addition to all the other IP that they already have. And we're seeing that a lot of the new IPs are the ones that are carrying the weight in these companies going forward. You see newer IPs in Sony and in Nintendo that are really holding people's attention. So I think that having Splatoon is a good idea, and I think they should keep it up. I think they should come up with some more new IPs. Whatever Retro is working on will be another new IP. Hopefully that works out. But that was a smart thing for them to do. And Splatoon 2 was sequel-ish, but it really wasn't a true sequel. Like, it wasn't like a brand spanking new game concept. So whenever I'm pretty sure before the Switch's life cycle is over, we'll get another Splatoon game on the Switch, and it'll probably be something a lot more fleshed out. So I think that they're in the right track with that.
Okay. K-Bomb, what's your thoughts? You muted it.
No, yeah, I'm good. No, I don't have too much to add to this. I'm not going to extend the conversation. You guys good?
Okay. So what did y'all think about some of the numbers that came out from it? 18 million Switches moved up to this date. That's pretty good. What else? What else came out of that investors meeting?
10 million Mario, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, Mario had already moved 9-something million with the last time we talked about it, so that wasn't shocking. There's another thing that. Wait a minute. What's something else that happened with Nintendo? Oh,
it's just the hack situation.
Go ahead.
The hack. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, apparently, and this whole situation just really boggles my mind because I can't believe that Nintendo was this dilapidated not to seen this coming, or this negligent not to check these things out ahead of time, because this was a problem that existed on the Tegra X1 chip long before they even announced that that's what they were going with for the Switch. But apparently there's a defect in the physical architecture of the Tegra X1 CPU that allows hackers to tap into the boot ROM of the CPU, which basically allows them to break the code open and do pretty much whatever they want with it. And this is something that can't be patched with firmware update. You can't patch it with software. Like, you can't program your software around this glitch. It's pretty much a game-breaking type thing, sort of like how the mod chips, or not even the mod chips, but how like it was so easy to mod the Dreamcast, and how you can just get a boot disc and then play your own games. It's basically that type of a situation.
Okay.
So Nintendo at some point pretty soon is going to have to address this, and they're going to have to basically come out with another model of the Switch that uses a different variation of Tegra X1 that doesn't have this exploit built into it. So I'm not sure how this is going to play things out. It might have a serendipitous side effect to where the Switch numbers might actually increase, because people who have the Switch already will want to go get one that's not as easily hackable as the one that they already have. Or people who are into the modding scene, who weren't interested in the Switch before, can look at the Switch and say, hey, I can go get a Switch and I can mod this thing to be my all-purpose tablet
until the cows come home.
Yep.
Exactly. So it may not actually wind up hurting Nintendo. It might actually, in a roundabout way, increase the sales of the Switch.
It will.
It does go into the rumor that it was a new revision coming, and everybody's like, "Why?" I mean, we talked about it. Remember, I think you was on that episode D2K when we was talking about why would they need a revision, and we was like, "Is it too soon for a Switch 2 or a more powerful Switch?" I think now that this rumor was really stemming from the fact that Nintendo probably behind the scenes knew that this was an issue, or became aware that this was an issue and potentially was going to happen, and was already doing the work to, I guess, correct it through how would you put that? Through a better developed device,
I'll take it a step further. That could be a reason for the delay in their online system as well.
Okay, I didn't think about that either. But go ahead, K-Bomb. You was going to say something.
I was about to say that they absolutely knew this was happening, that this was an issue. I read I think it was a Reddit message by the main hacker guy. I think Fail Overflow, and he said that he sent this information to. He found it a long time ago, and he said he sent the information to Nintendo saying, "Hey, This is the problem. Your stuff is hackable, and it's nothing you guys can do about it. You guys need to know that this is going to happen. And he said he waited on releasing that information, and then he started to see that everyone's going to find out. And so he was like, well, I'm going to release it, because he was going to wait, because he gave Nintendo a time to respond before he released it. But he coordinated and let Nintendo know, hey, this is a problem. Hey, this is hackable. This is how it works, and there's nothing you can really do about it. I'm letting you know. So, I mean, it wasn't like they had absolutely no idea, and this came out of the blue. So they absolutely could be coming and trying to get ahead of it before the storm came, but it's nothing they can really do about it.
And I think that you have to take into account that they were taking so many losses and so many L's with the Wii U that they probably said, you know what, we know this is a problem, but we cannot wait another year or so to clear this up. We got to release the Switch now and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how hard it would hit with 18 million out there that's in this current state. That is a lot. But like you said, if they revise it or I don't know what word I need to use to say that. If they rebuild or rework the Switch to usurp this
revision, that's the word you're trying to say? I don't know.
Revise, that's the right word.
Revise it to usurp this hack ability, that this hackable Switch that we currently have. I don't see it hurting them like it did the Dreamcast, because the Dreamcast didn't sell either, like it should have either. So I think the PlayStation 2 is what killed the Dreamcast more than anything. But
the hack scene didn't kill the Dreamcast.
Yeah, the hack scene actually, like D2K said, kept it alive for a while.
Service killed Dreamcast.
EA killed the Dreamcast, but that's
that too. But again, with EA, I'm glad they did what they did, because we wouldn't have had 2K Sports,
right?
And but to give my 2 cents on that situation, I don't think that the 18 million is that bad of a situation. They'll end up just being a premium when they resell. I was watching the video, and it actually brought up a point when that happened with the PlayStation Portables. When there was something that you can do with the game Luminous, where there was a way that you can hack the PlayStation Portable, like the older versions of those PSPs. And before the revision was made by Sony, those older versions of the PSPs were selling on a resale market at a premium, because folks knew that those PSPs were hackable. Mm-hmm. So basically the 18 million that were shipped, when it starts to hit the reselling market, these are going to be the premiums, because they're hackable. But what's going to occur is Nintendo's going to revise, and they're going to continue to sell Switches and make money. The hack scene is not really going to hamper or disrupt the sales of the Switch. The Switch is a successful console.
Go ahead, K-Ball.
I do want to add to that. Yes, the Switch may still continue to be a success, but with 18 million Switches out there, that if you can custom and get a ROM and download a game, that could definitely affect the sales of software. And that's what I'm seeing, because Nintendo, unlike any of the others, are more closely tied to the sales of their software. And to me, that's the biggest impact that we can see when Nintendo is if Mario is now selling, 5 million instead of 10, because the rest of the 5 million is using a hackable version of Mario. I think that may have a bigger impact than the selling of the Switch itself.
Well, it also could pretty much neutralize make the virtual console superfluous, because you already have Linux up and running on the Switch. You already have the Dolphin emulator running on the Switch. So people who already have the Switch right now, if they want to continue, let's say Microsoft, let's say Nintendo goes forward and say, we're going to make sure that people don't use hacked versions of our new Switch, and they'll put something in the game to prevent that from happening. Okay, fine. Somebody's going to rip that game at some point. It doesn't make any difference. But people who have the old Switch, they're like, why am I paying for games that I've already paid for in the past, where I can just go download this Dolphin emulator or JNES or some other emulator and play all these games that their people are paying for on my Switch on the go for free.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. I was finna say it before, but they said it in the comments, and I just want to echo. I just don't think as many people are interested in hacking as we might be talking here. I know I had a friend that hacked the Wii. He had everything you could name on the Wii. And I thought to do it. I was like, I really don't care enough to. But so I think out of that 18 million or how many, I don't think majority of them are going to even waste time trying to. They probably even know you can, won't even find out that you can to even take advantage of the hack. So I think it'll still be a small pocket of people who might try it, but not many.
It depends. It really depends on how or what is particularly done with this, because this is not just a console. This is a tablet device. So it's not just as simple as saying, well, people who aren't into hacking will be interested in doing this, and this is just a small contingent of people who get into hacking that will be. This is a tablet device. And if I can take my Switch and basically hack it into being what I personally thought the Switch was going to be in the first place, which was a fully functional tablet, the same that you would get from a Samsung tablet or iPad or anything like that, plus being able to play brand new Nintendo games, you most definitely are going to see people taking advantage of that.
So let me get understanding. So you saying that you can literally see? I might not be understanding fully what the hack can do for the Switch. I'm just thinking adding some games, getting. No.
Dude, if you can break through the boot ROM, you can essentially reset this thing from scratch and put whatever you want on the console.
Okay, that gave me a different concept of what the hack can do.
It's not just like we just play modded games. No, you can put your own operating system on this. You can completely make this customized whatever you want it to be.
Is it? Well, didn't in the beginning, Nintendo had when it's I'm sorry, level.
Go ahead.
In the beginning, when the Switch was released, didn't Nintendo have some sort of like prize where they went out and said that they wanted people to try to mod or hack the Switch, and then they would give people like some sort of prize if they were able to disclose any potential problems that they've seen with the Switch? Didn't this occur like a year ago?
I'm not sure, but something just popped into my mind. Is something that Level said in the past. You were saying that online capability is already built into the Switch, but Nintendo is blocking it.
Yeah, that's true. It's being blocked. You can do online when you connect Switch to Switch.
So if they can break into the boot ROM.
So I was watching Funway, and he was talking about this hack, and he said that it's not hard to do either. It's not a hard hack. He said that's what makes it so interesting, is the hack is fairly easy to do.
Yeah, but you're basically just shorting out two jumpers on the actual CPU. They actually have like a little 3D printed looks like a paper clip thing or something like that. You stick it in there and it shorts it out, and that does it. That's it.
Right.
That's all you gotta do.
And I didn't know you could take the Switch to that extent to where it can literally become a Note or iPad or something like that. You can do all the stuff you can do with that with the Switch.
It's like when people modded their Xboxes and stuff like that, and you had like the Xbox Media Center, which became Kodi later on. That type of thing. You can do that with the Switch if that's what people want to do. If people are going to do it, because the Switch is a popular device, and now people are going to say, I can pretty much have the best. There's nothing that you can't have on it. You can probably download Wi-Fi telephone service to it and stuff like that. There's all kinds of things people will be able to do with it.
Okay. Kodi on the go would be phenomenal, bro.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
That would be crazy.
Man.
And people are going to do that. So that's why it's not, like I said, I don't think it's going to hurt Nintendo at all, because people are going to be buying the Switches that are already out there. People are going to be going out and buying those in mass, because once Nintendo puts the new Switch out there, they're pretty sure they're going to stop manufacturing the old one. So it's going to be a premium, like you said, it's going to be a premium price on the ones that are already out there, so they can turn around and resell those for inflated prices.
True. And you know what? I mean, people are going to mod and hack it. And I do agree with you, D2K. It's not going to be as like devastating in terms of sales. It will. There are going to be people who don't buy games, but those are the people who, for the most part, were trying to kind of figure out ways to get it for free in the first place. And I'll give you an example. If, this was 12 years ago or, 11 years ago when I had my Nintendo Wii, I remember when, YouTube was fairly new, or videos on the internet that would show you how you can connect your hard drive. You can download like 1,000 ROMs of Wii games, and then you can homebrew your Wii, and then you have all of these games, right on your Wii. And I did that, and like for the first week, it was like the ultimate thing in the world for me. And then after that week, when a game came out, I spent my $60 to buy it. It's like you're gonna have people who either want to buy the game because they support the systems, and then you're gonna have people who really their intent is to not support or spend the money for whatever reason. And I'm not hating. I remember there's been times when I've downloaded things for free, and when I got into a situation when I didn't have to do that, then I actually went out and paid for whatever I would have previously downloaded for free if I didn't have the money at the time. So it really depends on the situation as well. I don't think that, for example, if you have 18 million, half of that, I don't think half of those, Switches are going to suddenly be modded and people will never buy games or, whatever the case is again. But a few million of them, it's a wrap for those.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. I'm with you. It's somebody brought up, I think it was K-Bum, brought up the Fire Stick. Like, did that, with the Cody and all that stuff that people was, because everybody was turning up with Fire Sticks, hacked Fire Sticks. Did that hurt the sales of the Fire Stick?
No. What we understand again, while the point I was making wasn't the sales of the Switch, is actually the software sales, because the Fire Stick actually increased in sales because of the fact that you put Cody on it.
I almost bought one. I just was a little too
I got
nervous.
a stick. I had a stick, and I have a TV, and all my stuff has Cody on there. It has emulators, it has ROMs, it has all that stuff on there, because practically it didn't take too much to do it. And most people I know, they call me, hey, you know how to download Cody, and I send them information. So most people that I personally know, all their Fire TVs are all hacked. Well, they're not boot ROM hacked, but they're all using Kodi and not just Netflix.
Yeah, and the Fire Stick, whoever who make Fire Sticks, who was that? Amazon. They ain't trying to fix it. Don't look like
because it's just like I was saying, is that they're good people are gonna go out and buy it specifically for that purpose, in addition to people who are buying it for legitimate reasons. And that's the reason why I don't think that this situation is going to hurt the Switch at all. It's just in terms of the hardware. It's going to increase the sales, at least for temporarily, until all those old Switches are flushed out of the system.
Yeah, the original sold. Yeah, that's interesting, because everybody I know who got a Fire Stick, that's why they got one. Like, I just got to watch these movies and get these movies for free, And anybody, the only person that got hurt was Roku. Everybody started buying Fire Sticks and not Roku boxes, but yeah, man, that's interesting. What else? Anything else on here? Well, K-Bum, man, ask you what you've been gaming on, bro. I want to hear how far you are on that war. Where you at?
I got a war. So I got to the point where the map kind of opens up, and all the other different realms are possible.
I'm past you. I'm past you.
I've been on vacation for about a couple of days now, brother.
Ain't
So
no excuse, man. No.
I would expect you to be past me at this point, but I know people were talking about how weak the story is. I don't know if they had gotten to this point before they talked about how weak the story was, because once you get to this point, it's almost like a whole new game. But
wait till you get to where I'm at.
I bet. So I've been gambling on that. So I've been you guys know I'm overseas right now, so I've been playing a little bit of my PlayStation while overseas. I'm using my laptop. I'm using remote play through my laptop to play the PlayStation, and that's why I'm happy I have digital games, because I can play those digital games. I just can't play God of War because it's too I need my reactions, and you have that lag, so I can't play God of War. I've been playing just Madden with that. I did boot up and play some what is that? Some Mario Kart. I did.
Also, you have your Switch with you.
Yeah, I took my Switch with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I took it with me.
All right.
I did boot up and play some Mario Kart, but I don't know. I think I need to play some humans, because
peer pressure got to you, K-Ball. You got that.
Really, bro?
Damn it.
No, we ain't going there, bro.
I'm messing, man.
Video Game Her says we need to spoil God of War for her. That's what she said. So let's go ahead and get some deals for her.
We're not gonna spoil it. Nah.
No. I try to be distinct, but no, I've been playing Mario Kart, and I don't know. I think I need to play actual humans, because it's just playing the people is pretty boring to me. It's because it has the rubber band logic in it still, and it's pretty boring just playing just the CPU. And I think I need to play humans, and I think I'll enjoy it a little bit better. But
really,
yeah, to me, oh, absolutely. I was pretty bored playing.
Well, when you playing against the computer, the skill set is a lot different. It don't the first person, it is like a rubber band. They keep up with you automatically. It don't matter how far you get out, they still right behind you. Whereas if you get out that far against other people, which is harder to me, because I play with Red Knight. It was Red Knight, a few folks up in there. I got thrashed. Getting fourth place was trophy for me. So I couldn't keep up with them brothers at all. I was winning one race. I held down the first place for about a round and a half. And out of nowhere, about 4 red shells lit me up and knocked me all off the course. And I was like, okay, well, I'll take this 5th place and settle for that. But yeah, I think you will have a better time playing with actual.
I think so. I mean, because again, one of my favorite racing games was Blur, because it was 20 people racing in the map, and all human controlled. And to me that was the most fun that I had. So I would I believe you active. I believe you beat the crap out of me in Mario Kart. I absolutely believe it. And that's the part where I don't like I need a tougher opponent, because there's some aspects that I don't know if I'm doing right yet, like some of the drifting. But when you see somebody better than you doing it, you're like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. So in a lot of these races, I'm in front, and so I don't see the stuff that people are doing. So I just think I'm doing right, and I don't know. So because I'm always in front, except for when that rubber band pops in, they beat me at the end. And so I would love to actually play against human. Then I can pick up on some tricks on how the best way to drift. Do I hold it all the way, or do I do little small bursts of speed once I do the drift? Do you let it go and then pop, or do I let it all the way go till I turn orange or something like that? Just little tricks to learn to get better. And I'm not getting that playing against a computer. So that's why one of the things I want to actually play against the humans, so I can actually learn the game better than the little small tutorial that they actually show you to read. So I can make sure I'm.
Active Sin sending out a public challenge, man. I'm thinking I might want to jump on here. He says, if you want to learn by suffering, Active throwing all talking all stuff. If you want to learn by suffering, join our tournament on Monday. Now, what's the name of the tournament? I can put it in the
video game her. It's her tournament, and I guess the reason why I can't play online is because I'm all the way in Brussels right now. I'm not at my home, so I don't have my home online, and the online here is the max is 512 megabytes per second. Wow. So I'm not even going to dare to play an online game with that kind of connection.
Can you stream it through your? Can you connect your Wi-Fi through your phone? Like,
wait a minute, you said me 500 megabits per second or
megabytes per second? Not even gig, not even half a gig.
No, wait a minute, that's the actual speed.
That's down speed.
500 megabits,
half a gig per second.
That sounds pretty good.
I mean, sorry. I mean, half a megabyte. Sorry, half a megabyte. I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
That was like, man, that's super.
My bad. I said it wrong. My bad. I apologize. No, I'm doing half a megabyte per second.
Can you tether it to your phone and use your phone's?
I am on an online plan with 6 other people, bro.
Oh, okay. Let me stop. I got you.
Well, he'll eat up all that data immediately.
Join that tournament, but the same problem that K-Bomb has on vacation, I have permanently living in Europe. The times is so crazy. Yeah, I would have
times too, right? Too. The time.
K-Bomb, they saying you will learn obedience by the things that you suffer.
Now, see, they talking to the wrong person. I won't come on there until I get good. So I ain't trying to get embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm not that kind of dude. I ain't about to be out
there. He's gonna put his friend code up there and everything. He ready.
Yeah, he's serious.
Now, after Sim, have I played y'all? I think I played with y'all. I was like I said, I played with Active Gamer them. I can't remember who was all in there. Dr. Feel Good and some other folks was up in there. I think Norris was up in there too. No, I wasn't Norris. But I was holding my own for a little while. But I wouldn't mind jumping back on there with these, see if they really as good as they claim. You know what I'm saying? People talk stuff, but don't be backing it up. Let me see what he says. Anyway.
No, I've only played the game for like a couple of days, so I'm not even at the point to be trying to.
Well, it's all right to suck. It's understandable.
I don't like you talking the wrong brother. I don't like to lose. I'm super competitive when it comes to that, bro. So I got to get at least halfway decent. I can't be out there.
That's why you don't want to see me in that Street Fighters. I've been trying to get you. Always want to play Tekken.
Man, I don't play Street Fighter. I told you I don't play projectiles. I don't do that. And that's the only way you beat me because you had Kuma shooting projectiles across the screen. I don't play with projectiles.
I put them sandals, the moccasins in your anyway.
Hold up now.
He said he beat him down with Birkenstocks.
Before we started screaming.
I was giving him the wood clips, man.
That boy know he was getting that butt whoop. Man, don't do me like that.
Yeah, I was offline, but when we went live, I was putting it on you. Those wood shoes was kicking you all in your job. Anyway.
Yeah, he keep going right past it. That boy got whooped for like 30
man,
minutes.
We gotta pick that back up, K-Ball, man. We gotta start doing that some more.
For sure.
But anyway, any other thoughts before we get out of here? We've been on here a good hour and 30.
Yeah.
Without telling Jedi Knight your thoughts of Avengers, what was your thoughts of Avengers?
Without spoiling the movie, without spoiling for anybody.
Yeah, you can't say too much, man.
No. I can say enough. I can say enough without spoiling. I know how to do it.
Okay.
It is how you pull together 10 years of cinema. I don't think of a better way to pull together 10 years of cinema because you see the effects of all 10 years in this movie. I think that's the best way I can kind of say that. You see the effects of all 10 years. You can see the climation of all that building, of all that talking, of all that affinity, of all that Thanos, of all this Thanos is coming. You see all of that. Even from the new people who just joined, you see them at some of their best moments. Spider-Man, who I prefer as a new person, just joined. Doctor Strange, who is a new person. Even Wakanda and Black Panther, everyone else, you kind of see them in their new role. Just it's accumulation of 10 years of of excellent movies all wrapped up in one. Everyone pretty much got their time to shine. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So many characters, so many people, so many storylines, so many branches, so many. It's
how long is the movie?
Not long enough.
They did 3 hours.
Not long enough.
Well, you gotta remember, this is all basically one big, huge movie that's been cut into 2 parts.
Yep.
Right. It's like Lord of the Rings in that sense. Let me ask this, K-Bum, because me and D2K kind of had a similar experience. Once the movie was over, could you hear a pin drop?
Man, you can hear a dust fly past the ground.
You can hear the walls age.
You hear the paint dry. Bruh, everyone's looking at the screen like, and like one thing you probably heard saliva drop because everyone's mouth was wide open. And everyone looking at the screen like
I was sitting there like no one was talking. When we walked out, we all just single filely walked out. Nobody said, well, what you think? Everybody just got up, like, okay, let's go.
I'll add this. I'm try to be I'm not gonna spoil it, but you know that all Marvel movies have Easter eggs at the end of them. Even with the Easter egg, people were still so enraptured about the movie that you couldn't even react to that.
Nope.
Yeah. It was by that time it was just more stuff.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone said anything through. Like everyone said in the credits, like, "Is this? Hold on, wait, hold on. What are the credits doing here?" You mentioned the whole fact that everybody had time to shine, and I don't know who the director of this movie was, but one of the things Russo brothers, same people did Civil War.
Okay, because they did Joss Whedon did such a great job with the original Avengers movie, because going in that movie, we're like, how in the world are they going to have a movie with all these strong personalities and have everybody have a chance to have a shine time in the movie? And it was brilliant how they did their first Avengers movie. You have maybe like 3 times the amount of characters
easily
in this movie, and they still pulled it off flawlessly.
Yeah. Incredible.
And
I gotta watch this movie.
They didn't come off like they didn't fit together. It was like you said, D2K. That's what shocked me, for them all to be in different movies and then to come into this movie for the first time all in the same movie. It just was streamless. It was just like this was normal. This was natural.
Can I add one piece?
Yeah,
One piece real quick.
My daughter getting up in arms, my wife.
Okay, let me try this real quick. So what was to me one of the coolest things is how each character was brought in was like they stepped out of their own movie, right from their own movie into this movie. Each character came into the movie almost as if they were just coming directly out of their own movie. The way Spider-Man came in, he came in just as if he came straight out of his Spider-Man movie. The way the Guardians came in, it felt like they just came straight out of their Guardians movie right into this movie. And same thing with Thor. It was the same Thor that you saw last movie. Just the same, you know how this Thor was different, how he was more humorous and something like that. It was the same Thor, and I'm like, how did they capture each superhero from their own individual movie, bring them into this movie, and still allow them to
be independent,
showcase what they originally were in their own movies? I have no idea. The Russo brothers, like I said, they are GOATs, because I have no idea how you, because even the Guardians came out and it felt, I'm telling you, it felt just like you were watching the Guardians movie. 100% guaranteed. It was amazing.
It was brilliant.
I forgot what I was going to say, but
it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning my time, and I'm ready to walk out my house and watch this movie.
Bruh.
Dude, like I said, D2K, Jedi Knight is one of those movies. In order to talk about it outside of just emotions, it's spoiler. Like, we can't even talk about what happens because it's just going to spoil it. Like, you literally got to walk in blind and see it for yourself. Everything K-Bump echoed and said was right on the money. Everything D2K said was right on the money. And when you can have 7, 8-year-old kids still sitting in their seat, looking at mom, looking at dad, and ain't saying nothing, you know you killed it. You know you killed it, man. When you can have kids speechless, like they couldn't say if it was good, bad, did they like it, did I don't like it. They didn't know what to say. It was just like an emotional roller coaster. That's all I can tell you. It's dope, man. It's a dope movie. Real talk. But on that tip, I'm gonna let y'all go so that I can still be in right standings after this. So I'm gonna let y'all sign out. I'm gonna start with my boy Jedi Knight, man. Since you've been here, you've been a while, man. We got to start doing this a lot more if we can on Sundays to get you on, man. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure, guys. I'm gonna see if I can make it on next weekend, and as usual, it's always great to speak to you guys. I wish Keith was here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can get in this Avengers movie, so next Sunday I can let you know why I was so damn speechless, because it sounds like it was phenomenal.
Hey, no, you need to see it before we catch up, bro.
Yeah, I was thinking actually about doing it then, but you know what? The movie is so long. I don't want to interrupt that.
No, if you want, I'll see it again.
Then you know what? When we meet up in Amsterdam, we may just have to do that, because I'm kind of hopes to see this movie now.
Okay, I'll talk to the wife, because I would love to see your reaction, bro. I thought the wife, because we said we want to see it again, so
okay, if y'all want to see it again, that'll be what's up then. I'll speak to the wife, because the wife, the reason how I found out about the movie is because the wife read your Facebook post. And I didn't know she was talking about this particular movie. And then when she said Avengers, I'm like, oh, this is K-Bomb. This makes sense. But now that I'm really hearing this situation right now, it's like, yeah, most definitely. When we meet in Amsterdam on Tuesday, we got to see this movie.
Bet.
Okay. I know D2 don't like doing outro. So, K-Bomb.
So it was good to pop in a little. I know I popped in a little late. It was good to see the comment section was on fire today.
Mm-hmm.
So that was legit. Shout out to Active and Nia coming in with the information, and Cornelius always dropping information. Was the truth in her? I don't remember seeing the truth.
Yeah, he was in here.
He was in here. Okay, he was in here earlier. Okay, and man, I'm saying your name wrong, bro. Haruhi. Probably gonna say it wrong. I'm not gonna make myself look stupid trying to pronounce it, but good looking out in the comment section, bro. I appreciate it.
I can't say
appreciate the shout out, man. And yeah, for sure, man. Next time, take it easy.
All right, and this is your boy Levelhead, man. Appreciate all the love being shown in the comment section. All y'all share your thoughts in the whole nine. K-Bum kind of already named a few, but Cornelius, man, you kept us abreast to what was going on. Same thing with Nia, Active Sin, and all the rest of you, the truth. All the rest of you guys, I wish I could say your name, however you say that, but
what?
I just made up something. Haruhi. Haruhi? I don't know how you say it. Anyway, shout out to you. But this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Hopefully we can jump back on Sunday. I should be able to do it. I might not be able to do it at 3:30. It might be more closer to 4, but I should be able to do it. I'm not for sure yet, but I'll let you know. I should be able to do it.
Remember, 4 o'clock is like 2 o'clock in the morning. Not 2 o'clock. That's like 1 o'clock in the morning for Jedi.
Is it Jedi?
What time again?
4 p.m.
4
like 11:30 or something, 12 like that.
Yeah, it's maybe about 11 or 12. What time did we start tonight? I know we started. It was a little bit after 11 o'clock my time.
Yeah, we started right at 4.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Then it's 11 because it's 12:39 a.m. my time right now.
Okay, cool. So I thought I was K-Bum had me scared there for a second. Like,
my bad. No, yeah, it's 12 for 2. My bad.
K-Bum, come on, bro.
Yeah. So sometimes it's tough because there are times when it's just naturally it's late. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So sometimes if I got to get up in the morning, or if it's just like I'm beat for the day, sometimes it's tough to start a podcast at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. But, when I have the time, I definitely jump on. It's not a problem.
Okay, cool. I always give you a heads up, man, at least give you a chance to work yourself around the ideal of doing so or not. The same for me, man. When I get off service and out of church on Sundays, bro, I be looking at this computer and stuff like, not today. So got kick K-Bum up. He's like, nah, bro, I ain't doing it today. I'll be like, okay, that's all I needed. No podcast tonight.
I think that once after me and K-Bomb check out this movie on Tuesday, we'll be on Sunday.
Yeah, we got it. That's why I'm trying to make sure I can be here. So hopefully I should be able to do that. But anyway, with that being said, folks, this was the Live Level Podcast. D2K, he's not going to sign out for you guys because that's his thing. So anyway, till next time, folks, chucking the deuces. Peace.